Ladies and gentlemen, happy Halloween. Pimpula is back in action. We're back to talk about horror comics today. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about the current state of horror comics. Unfortunately, in what I've read and what I've experienced, has not been a great year for horror comics. Last year I had some real hope. I did my top 10 video, the top 10 horror comics. A lot of those comics were coming out then. Now, all your favorites are still continuing, like Something is Killing the Children, series of that nature, where it's a little bit more action and not full horror, but still great, still a lot of fun. But a lot of the series that are continuing are either just coming out so slowly that you're like, what's going on? Do we really need this? Mr. Scott Snyder, do we really need an entire year without an issue of Wipeout? Like, what's going on? I know you're writing Absolute Batman. I know you're busy, but goddamn! Wipeout is a really good series, man. A bunch of rich people on this boat are hiding this crazy dark secret, and there's like a fucking octopus or something. I don't know. I'm still getting my way through it because I'm trying to wait for it to finish. It's only 3 issues, but we've gotten like maybe two last year or the year before that, because there are these prestige issues, which I really like, having a longer, bigger, better format to read these comics, obviously. Yeah. But I don't want to wait that long, man. I don't remember what happens at this point, because Scott Snyder's just firing on all cylinders for a lot of his series. Great job for you, Scott. Doing well. But yeah, just don't forget about series like that. Come on. So yeah, get on that. And now we have more disappointing news, unfortunately. It's not all disappointing. There are some good stuff that come out this year, but something that made me very sad, because one of the series I was most looking forward to seeing grow and seeing what was going to go on with it, because I thought it had amazing potential. This great series that was kind of an anthology series, but all connected, all had this crazy lore to it. And this series was called The Bone Orchard Mythos. And unfortunately, a lot of shit went down this series. I talked about it in my video about AI and comics. Artist Andrea Sorrentino was kind of caught using AI for the last book that they did, which is Bone Orchard Tenement. And there was never an official statement about that. It's an image book. I assume it's up to the creators, which means writer Jeff Lemire probably had something to say about that, or maybe he didn't. He said in his newsletter that he was burned out of horror. I gotta take the glasses off for that, man, because that just made me sad just saying that, man, because I love his horror. Gideon Falls, banger. Little Monsters, sort of a banger. I liked it. It's really disappointing to hear that we won't get series like that from Jeff Lemire. But apparently the anthology style wasn't working. Sales just weren't good, which is another big thing we have to talk about, I think. Because sales, obviously, are everything in a industry like this. It's sales run. Obviously, we are going to have to change our way of doing things if the numbers don't support whatever it is that we have going on. It makes me very sad to announce this to you guys, but unfortunately, the next chapter of the Bone Orchard Mythos, Starseed, it's just not happening. People don't want to take a risk with styles anymore. It's not the Vertigo era. People are a lot more conservative with what works, what doesn't work, All the best horror in the world is done when it's created. Seems with stuff like that series, it's discouraged. And now moving on to the good stuff. There are some good horror comics. I don't even know if you can classify this as a horror, but I like the comic Feral, which is just a bunch of cats in the wilderness dealing with feral animals. It's basically like a zombie breakout happens, and they have to avoid the epidemic. They have to get on their way so that they don't get turned into monsters. And it's kind of like the Odyssey in terms of its structure, which is really interesting, because they will go into places like this old lady's house, and they'll be like, oh, this old lady's so kind, so nice, this is great place to hide out. And then all the animals in her house aren't affected, and they have to run away, and it's terrible. But it's a lot of fun in the format. It's consistently engaging. It's just a good time. And it's cartoonish. It's by the same creators of this series called Stray Dogs. And if you don't know Stray Dogs, that was about these dogs with this terrible murderous owner trying to figure out how to escape without being murdered. So great fun. I think it was done by like a My Little Pony artist or something like that. So everything looks super cartoonish, but the things that are happening in the story are actually terrifying. So it was a great combination there. Pimpula likes that one quite a bit. Now, last but not least, there was one series that I actually caught up to just to make this video. And of course, this is James Tynion's new book, Exquisite Corpses. And this one is fun. It wasn't what I was expecting, like, at all. But I heard great things about it. It lived up to the hype, man. This is a story that's more about like a slasher than anything else. But it is about these richest families in the world that control the entire United States. Every Halloween, these 12 families come together and say, hey, get me your best murderer, your best assassin, your best lunatic, whatever the case may be. Everyone's gonna have a representative that they hire to do this battle. So they put 12 mass murderers or 12 lunatics or 12 whoever it is. They put them fucking in this town. They slam them down on this town and say, all right, you guys, you got this. Go to battle, go to work. And they go pew pew, gun gun, pow. And so what ends up happening is this town gets closed off. The people inside the town don't know this secret war for Earth's dominion is going on. So normal people get wrapped up in it. Even just the serial killers themselves. They are really engaging. Like, they're a lot of fun. There's this, like, kid who has, like, a remote control. It's just this fucking sociopath. I know some kids like him. And he goes around shooting drones at average people. And there's this family. One of our characters, one of our protagonists, is basically stuck on Halloween night with this kid babysitting. So he's like, fuck, all right, well, I guess I gotta take him trick-or-treating, have a great time, but he goes into the part of the neighborhood he maybe shouldn't be going into, where there's these murderers going on and this terrible activities, and he has to figure out how to keep the boys safe. But they meet this little boy. Turns out the little boy is the sociopath murderer I mentioned. So he's going around saying, hey kid, check this out. He's trying to make friends. Doesn't work out so good, because what ends up happening is this kid's like, hey, check this out, man. You can play in my little video game. Check it out. And it is a actual drone strike on the people that are like going in this horror maze trying to get scared, and they just get shot dead and they die. It's fun. It's not like, you're not gonna get really scared reading this comic. It's just, it's fun horror. And yeah, Exquisite Corpses is just a great, like, battle royale horror series with characters that are really likable. The mother who leaves her child in this man's care because she has no other choice, she's just getting completely hoed at her job, just hoeing the fuck out of her for no adequately explored reason. Like, you can relate to stuff like this, being in this terrible situation, but then suddenly this crazy battle royale breaks out and you're like, whoa, what the fuck do I do? I'm just an average guy in a horror hellish battlescape going on. It's fun to see who's going to win. It's got like a Squid Game element to it too, with all the rich people that are going like, hey, you fucking suck, your guy, you got his fucking head bashed in. And it's really entertaining to watch stuff like that. But overall, I'm sad about what's going on with these horror comics, man, because I really love them. Let me tip my hat to this, because this is kind of a dire situation, you know? Because these books that come out, they have so much passion poured into them. And it's not like movies. In movies, it is so simple to just say, hey, we have some extra budget lying around. Let's make a horror movie, double or triple or quadruple our profits, because they don't take a lot of money to make. And everyone will go see them because the people who love horror movies are this huge tight-knit community. They'll go see anything. Unfortunately, comics don't work like that. The issue with comics is that it takes just as much work, not just as much work because it's a different skill set, but you know what I'm saying. It takes a similar amount of work to create a horror comic versus a superhero comic. And everyone loves superhero comics. That's what people think of comic books as. You think of a comic book, you think Spider-Man, Captain America, Fantastic Four, Avengers, whatever the case may be. It's a superhero, man. I love superheroes too. Obviously, if you see my channel, you kind of know that. But I love horror a lot too, and it makes me sad to see it being hoed. These prestige stories are either getting canceled, like the Bone Mythos, which had so much promise, man. I'm actually so sad about that one. Or they're just getting like one issue and not being continued throughout the rest of the year. Like this other comic that Scott Snyder did that I thought was really interesting called You Won't Feel a Thing. I read that for this video. And that one is about a detective who's like losing all his memory. He's degenerating. But he remembers this case that no one else remembers. He's seeing the mass murderer resurface. So he has to go after this guy in terrible physical and mental condition. He's losing his memory. He's losing his ability to logic his way out of these situations. And It's a fun time, or at least it looks like it. There's one issue out, so I can't tell you for sure. But that's the problem with this. Like, doing a video like this is difficult because there's just not enough stuff to talk about. And I think that's just because the return on investment is just not there in order to encourage it. More than just an issue or two a year is fine. I mean, stuff like Something's Killing the Children, Exquisite Corpses, doing great. But if it doesn't have that name recognition like James Tynion, there's not a lot of really good horror comics that are coming out, in my opinion. I could have just missed some. And if I did, please let me know, because I love to read some good horror comics, man. I miss them. Because reading Exquisite Corpses, I was like, man, I haven't had a feeling like this in a while. And I really liked it. It's slasher. It's not even my thing, but it was my thing. Maybe it can be my thing, man. Overall, the future is not bright, but I think we have enough great horror writers and great creatives working on these comics to where this can be an amazing genre in comics. It can be banging again, alright? And with that being said, Pimpula out.